the cold feet of Mike Bohn, and the rumors started to fly around Sunday morning that Urban Meyer or something was standing in the way. According to Scott Wolf, it is the hiring of Urban Meyer. And almost as interesting as that is, if you don't have an AD, you have nobody to evaluate and fire your head coach, and there's an early signing period, and Florida State's already on the move, having gotten rid of Willie Taggart. And whether you feel pressure or not, there's going to be a lot of media pressure from the outside and pressure from pundits like Matt Smith and say, hey, what's wrong with you? Why don't you hire Urban Meyer?
Take the hit.
What's wrong with Urban Meyer?
Take the hit. It's my position.
Take the PR hit?
The freaking hit. And hire Urban and get back to relevance in the span of a week. Because look, what if it's Luke? What if it's Franklin? What if it's these guys that you're listing that have bowl games? What if Luke's in the freaking playoff? What if he's in a New Year's Six bowl? Same with Franklin. Now what are you going to do? Now you miss the early signing period.
Well,
and who knows if those guys are going to take the job?
It depends if Urban Meyer takes another
That's
job.
what I mean.
I mean, if Urban Meyer takes another job and you didn't get Urban Meyer and they're automatically winning championships.
Now you're really stewed.
That might bother some USC fans, but I also hear from a lot of USC people who have suffered through all of these controversies, all the stuff that the LA Times revealed, a lot of it outside of the football program. They say they saw a drunk fired early in the season in Sarkeesian. They saw a real festering a-hole in the desert, Lane Kiffin, fired on a tarmac.
An AD with nepotism.
AT with the nepotistic stuff.
Hundreds of thousands of dollars in charitable dollars going into their
pockets. Talked about that yesterday. And then, of course, the Lynn Swann hiring. And the fact that AD, the nepotistic, disgraced, comb-overed AD from Pasadena, was allowed to hire Clay Helton and then run away. And then you hire Lynn Swann, who re-ups Clay Helton. I mean, these people have seen a lot over the years, not to mention the more inhumane, terrible controversies that are more university-wide, and they don't want to take the PR hit. And I can understand that as well. I don't really, honestly, have a very intense stance about whether or not USC should hire Urban Meyer. To me, whoever they hire has to be an outsider, and that's who Urban Meyer is. You just have to be an outsider to USC. So he fits my criteria. I don't care. And guess who else does? Mike Bohn, and guess who else does? Ken Bohn, not Ken Bohn, the former Washington State coach who Clay Thompson committed to.
What was the guy's name?
Played for.
Ken Bohn was also the name of the dude.
Oh, Ken Bohn was the guy. Yeah,
in the presidential debate that wore the sweater.
That sweet dude with the bald head and the sweet glasses.
We love the Bones.
Okay, those Ken Bohn from Washington State, the other Ken Bohn, not qualified in my estimation, because that's all I want. Outsider. Has the job at another university. Urban Meyer's had the job at other universities, and he's an outsider. Mike Bohn had the job at other university. He's an outsider. That's the kind of thing
I don't want Urban Meyer. My
needs.
Point is, it'll blow over. It'll blow over inside of 2 weeks. It'll be done, and then Urban Meyer's your head coach, and he wins anywhere he goes. Does he leave with the program in solid, stable position? No. But while he's there, hell of a run.
I mean, and I understand what you're saying, and just to push back a little bit,
sure.
When you hire Urban Meyer, you don't get to build your athletic department, and USC obviously needs a complete athletic department rebuild. Urban Meyer builds your athletic department, and he's the football coach. And that's a problem for them right now. And obviously he wants
all his assistants. He wants all his people.
Right.
It's
and
LeBron James of the Lakers.
He wants whatever he wants, and you have to give it to him. And that's what ended up happening. I mean, really, that's what ended up happening with Pete Carroll. And that's how they ended up in the situation they did with the sanctions, because Pete Carroll was more powerful than Mike Garrett. Pete Carroll told them, if you cooperate with the NCAA and take any kind of self-reporting, self-inflicting kind of stuff, I'm going to leave. And he ended up leaving anyway, like an a-hole. Yeah.
But, I mean, isn't that the case? Isn't that Nick Saban? Isn't that Dabo Swinney? Isn't that Brian Kelly?
I mean,
these dudes are
it
more
is,
powerful
but they
than
work
their AD.
with people, and everybody seems like the Bob Stoops situation worked really well because him and Joe Castiglione and the university president all worked together. That's probably not the case if you hire Urban Meyer at this point at USC.
But if it's Mike Bohn, you got a guy that's probably going to be comfortable working together with Urban because there is some knowledge and relationship there.
Yeah,
right?
but who's the third person in there? The president.
Carol
Folt,
then
she's not going to. You have to have all those people working together. And if they're not, if you're not going to do exactly what that guy says, you don't get to shape the athletic department, which needs desperate reshaping. So I understand that part of it. But, Matt, we have way bigger stories.
We do?
Oh, huge. Word of the day. I mean, look at this.
He hurt me with his words.
The word of the day.
Mike's on. Mike Francesa's leaving the fan. Mike Francesa. We are your sports talk radio industry talk show of record. We don't talk about ratings or downloads or anything like that. But if a sports talk radio guy gets on his high horse and starts talking about him summering in Nantucket, we are on that. We are on these things, and we've always been on Francesa because he has such a sweet, and really, in all honesty, how much do I care if Francesa's doing his show on the fan?
Not much.
Not at all.
But you got to change the lyrics now.
If he falls asleep on the show, how much do I care? Not much.
Not much.
Calls Joel Clack.
Not much.
Don't care. But when we have, and I don't care that he's stepping down, and I don't care who's going to fill in. I don't care about any of it.
All you care about is?
We get to play the song. On, he's ready to go on the fan.